So last time we were gonna help Subakiko and the LCSC with... We're kind of trying to clear out the space and make sure nobody puts their bicycles in here. I guess there's gonna be some kind of, like, parade or something down this route. I don't know if I can catch what the parade's gonna be called. Oh yeah, all the girls challenged Subakiko to a cooking match. Let's see if I can go back far enough that I can find out. I don't think I can. Yeah, so Miss Hinagata accepted the job, more for herself than anybody else. There have been many cases of Susuda Station commuters illegally parking their bikes in the old shopping district. It had become such a problem that the administration finally ran out of patience and designated the shopping district a crackdown zone for illegal bike parking. But the lawbreakers weren't going to let that stop them. They simply left the old shopping district and turned their sights on the nearby Iwaihime shopping district. Unattended bikes would get in the way of the parade going through the shopping district. So they asked us to get up early and patrol the sidewalk to ensure that the streets could stay clean for the day of the parade. Of course, this would be a joint project with the Shopping District Association, though they were originally supposed to do it themselves. And yeah, she wanted to have a good old-fashioned sleepover there. Alright, Suzumu and Suda left together to visit some toy shop. I trudged my way back alone. Things are getting serious. I mean, yeah, I really was training to be a housewife. I was learning by helping my mom around the house. This song is just so loud and kind of irritating. It's unfortunate, but I gotta turn it down. Nearly all girls my age were already doing as much. How am I gonna pull this off? I'm such a bad cook. Riria had taken some cooking lessons, so her dish would probably be pretty decent. And while Minobe may have looked lazy, she was clever, so her food would probably turn out good. Now Suzumu's gonna find out I'm the least feminine of the bunch. I think he already knows that. But if I don't do this, then I can't call Suzumu by his first name again. I don't want that at all. That aside, Riria sure was aggressive. She kept swearing she just cared deeply for him, that it wasn't love or whatever. But she was passionate enough to go for the guy she liked head on. I was surprised. I'm older than her, but it's like Riria's years ahead of me. And then there was Minobe. She was pretty bold herself, claiming she'd consider going out with Suzumu if we didn't make a move. I guess that meant we all had a thing for Suzumu. Not like I can blame them. Suzumu really is dashing. No wonder they'd fall for a guy like that. Maybe I was arrogant for believing that only I understood his appeal. Suddenly, having two new contenders in my quest for love was enough to make me feel the sky was falling. So, did that really mean I like Suzumu? I believed that Suzumu wasn't Minobe or Riria's type, and that only I understood what Akechi was. So I hadn't needed to be honest with myself or come to terms with my own feelings. But earlier today, I'd been handed an epiphany. I wanted to keep calling Suzumu by his first name. And I wanted to be the only one who did. So this really... This really is love, isn't it? I'd vowed to reinvent myself in high school to achieve my childhood dream of becoming the perfect wife. And that dream needed a wonderful husband to complete. I've been so obsessed with my own dream that I hadn't actually imagined what sort of man he would be. But if I had to ask myself... If my husband were someone like Suzumu, We'd be the perfect, peaceful family. Suzumu kicking back and reading the newspaper. Me in the kitchen chopping up meat and veggies with a pot bubbling on the stove. Honey, dinner's ready. Clear the table. Nah. I didn't need a mirror to notice. I was red as a beet. That dream was my ideal family, my ideal future. Me as the ideal wife with my ideal husband. And finally, after all these years, I had a clear vision of my future husband's face. Facing it head-on would be embarrassing, but I had to take a page from Ruria's book and stay brave. Alright, I'll do it. I'll show off just how feminine I can really be and take Suzumu's heart away. But I...
お料理とか全然なことなんだよな。
I can't cook to save my life. I only started helping out with chores in high school. As for what I was doing before that... Delinquency?
いいから跳ねてみろって。
I said jump.
本当にお金持ってないです。
But I mean it. I don't have any money.
聞いてねえって。いいから跳ねてみろっつってんだよ。
Does it look like I give a crap? Just jump. I saw some middle school delinquent shaking down a grade school kid behind the park's bathroom. Grade school kids these days carry cash, huh? Times sure have changed. But that man was so cringy. Really drove home that Susuda was out in the sticks.
こら、厨房。そういうのかっこ悪いからやめな。
Come on, boys. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. They pretended not to hear me. Well, boys can be pretty stupid. They tend to get so into whatever it is they're doing that they can't hear anyone around them. If I were some dainty girl, the right move would be to ignore this and move along. But I couldn't let a poor little grade schooler suffer.
いいからポケットの中身全部出せよ。
Cough
出せっつってんだよ。
Cough up everything in your pocket. Cough it up. I pulled the leader by his ear. He'd have to be a real idiot to keep ignoring me at this point.
何しやがんだこの甘。
The hell you doing, bitch?
小学生一人に図体でかいのが何人もで何やってんだか。
Why don't you try picking on someone your own size, huh?
ほら僕、行っちゃいな。
Now's your chance, kid. Get out of here. The little boy looked back and forth between me and the bullies, and then made a break for it.
かわいそうに。あの子、一人で遊びに行けなくなっちゃうかもよ。
Poor kid. He might not come here to play by himself again.
だてめえは女だからって調子こいてんじゃねえぞ。
Who the hell are you? Not like we'll go easy on you just cause you're a chick.
あんたひどい言葉遣いだね。制服見てわかんない？
Someone needs to teach you a lesson. Can't you tell by my uniform? Seifuku is uniform.
私、年上だよ。目上に対する礼儀もないわけ？
I'm older than you. Is this how you treat your elders?
だからなんですか？すすこのお姉ちゃんよ。
So what? You think that makes you hot stuff?
正義の味方気取りっすか？威勢いいっすね。
Trying to be a superhero or something? You got balls.
カツアゲなんて真似。ダサいからマジでやめな。
Seriously, cut the shakedown act. It's hella lame.
そういうことして生きがってると、この辺島にしてる怖い人たちに目つけられるよ。
You might think you're pretty cool, but you're just gonna catch the eyes of the wrong folks. Let me tell you. Though most delinquents were basically just pretending to be gangsters, they'd jump at the opportunity for the fight, to fight for the right cause. If they heard some punks were causing trouble on their turf, they'd gladly call themselves delinquent hunters and pick a fight with this crew. That ain't gonna happen to us.
俺の姉貴、血まみれ天女の親衛隊なんすけど。
My big sis is part of the Bloodstained Angels attack squad, you know. Bloodstained Angels? Man, what an edgy name. They were a group of delinquent girls who held Susuda under their thumb.
お姉さんススコっすよね。ススコにも 血まみれ天女の人結構いるっすよ。
You go to Suzu High, right? There's a ton of bloodstained angels there, too. She's probably a bloodstained angel, too, though.
あんま調子こいてんといじめられちゃうんじゃないっすか。
You keep sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, and you're the one they're gonna go after. The delinquents started seriously infringing on my personal space. Apparently, they thought I was trembling in fear.
お姉さん、俺たちと仲良くなりましょうよ。
Come on, babe. Let us get to know you a little better.
ねえねえ、お姉さんのおごりでカラオケ行きましょうよ。
Hey, treat us to karaoke.
お姉さんさ、結構可愛いじゃん。
You're
彼
really,
氏がいんの？
you're really cute, you know that? You got a boyfriend?
高校にもなってリボンつけちゃうとか超狙ってんじゃん。男推しアピールしちゃってんの？
You must be dying for attention if you're wearing a ribbon in high school. You after a guy or what? They put their hands on my shoulders and touched my arms. I knew I would regret what would come next. I wish I'd stopped myself, but it was too late.
ん？お姉さんうつむいちゃってどうしたの？怖くて失禁しちゃった？
Huh? Hey, what you looking down for, babe? You pissed yourself? Whoa, look at her eye. A moment later, the delinquents found themselves lying flat on the ground. Tsubakiko had slammed her elbows and knees into their vitals with lightning speed, one after the next.
人がおとなしくしてりゃ
You should have shut those traps when you had the chance.
調子こいてんじゃねえぞクソガキめら
Don't get full of yourself, you fucking brats.
祭るぞこらてめえら血祭りにされてえかこら
You want some, you little asswipes? You wanna get effing slaughtered, punks?
なんだこの甘、わけわかんね
The hell's up with this crazy witch?
あ誰がアマだ目上にどういう口聞いてんだ
Who you calling a witch? That ain't no way to speak to your elders. Huh?
祭られてえかこら
I'm gonna slaughter you, you little shit.
兄貴助けてくれよ。
Sis, save me!
おいおい何やってんだよダッセーな
Seriously, the F is this shit? This is so pathetic. Several delinquent girls in tracksuits showed up. It seemed they were members of the Bloodstained Angels the boys had been talking about.
このツスコの女がよ調子乗ってんだよ。
The Suzu High chicks think she's hot shit.
うちの弟が世話になってんじゃねえかよお前クラスどこよ
So you're the one that kicked my little bro's ass. What class are you in?
祭るぞこら
I'll slaughter you too, bitch. What?
うちの姉貴はよ血まみれ天女の親衛隊なんだぜ。ぶち切れるとマジやべえんだぜ。
That's my big sis. She's one of the highest ranked Bloodstained Angels. You're in for a world of hurt if you piss her off, you know.
土下座しろや。そしてちびりながらカラオケ代をおごりやがれ。
Go on, piss yourself. Beg for her mercy. And when you're done, you can pay for karaoke.
バキコさん
Is that you, Bakiko?
誰だおめえ
The hell are you?
ちわーすそんな可愛い格好してるからわかりませんした
I'm sorry. I couldn't tell it was you with that cute getup.
んだこら似合ってねえかよ祭るぞこら
The hell are you talking about? You saying it doesn't look good on me? I'll waste ya.
とんでもないっす超可愛いです超似合ってますなあ
No, I wasn't saying that at all. It looks cute on you, right? Right, girls?
似合ってます。
Yeah, it looks great.
さっき私のリボン超狙ってるとか言ったガキ
So which
誰
one?
だこら
So which one of you goddamn brats said I was begging for attention with these ribbons?
血祭りにされてえかこら
You want to get effing slaughtered, you bastards? The delinquents had no idea what was happening, but they seemed to understand Tsubakiko wasn't somebody to be messed with. They all bowed to her while she was while begging for her forgiveness. Tsubakiko shrugged at the sight, her face warping from bloodlust to disappointment. She turned around with an annoyed frown and left.
兄貴、あの人、誰よ
Sis, who the hell was she?
血まみれ天女初代特攻隊長のバキコさんだよ。
That was Bakiko. She's the first leader of the Bloodstained Angels attack squad.
バキコって。血祭りバキコあの女がマジで
Wait, you mean Bakiko the Slaughterer? That was her? For real?
お前ら何やんちゃしたのか知らないけど
I don't know what kind of shit you boys pulled.
血の雨も降らずに堪忍してもらえたのマジで感謝した方がいいぞ
But you better be grateful she didn't paint the park with your blood. And we find out her past.
やってしまった。
I did it again. No. So unladylike. I went berserk again. I hate myself. I assume that's why she hates it. I, Tsubakiko Haramiya, had a secret nobody else could ever know. Oh, she's got like goth stuff on her wall. I guess it's supposed to be like death metal. In my room lay many trophies of the edgiest years of my life. A gang flag labeled Bloodstained Angels hung on my wall, embroidered in gold. A gang leader jacket with the name First Attack Squad Leader, Tsubakiko Haramiya, monogram right onto it. My trusty partners from those days leaning against the wall. Warped metal bats with splatters of lacquer on them to make them look blood-stained. A chain borrowed from a broken bike. It always hurt my hands, so I never used it as a weapon. A wooden sword that I bought in the middle school field trip. Used that one to teach countless misbehaving underclassmen a lesson. All of them were precious memories of my innocent youth. No, they're not. Damn it. Come back. Come back to me, my innocent youth.
そうだよね。こういう時は女の子らしい可愛い音楽でイメージをチェンジ。
At times like this, some cute girly music really does wonders for an image change. I turned on the stereo, but the headphone jack must have been unplugged because loud music started blaring. Slaughter, 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 smash that shithead teacher's head in and roar. Don't tell me what to do. I ain't playing to your bell. I don't take orders from you. Now burn in hell. I frantically switched the power off, silencing the heavy metal CD I'd been listening to last night. The band's poster hung on the wall nearby, so yeah, it was heavy metal. Thanks to them, I had a whole gallery displaying my messed up hobbies, from the skull with the pentagram on it to a creepy demon mask. Girly, something girly, where is it? Up until now, I never felt anything odd about the room I'd lived in for so long. But this wouldn't do. If Suzumu ever saw this room, I'd die. Then I'll just have to clean it up. Please, please, grant me some cleaning magic. Up through middle school, I had been living a completely different life. When I was in grade school, my hatred of boys ran rampant, and thanks to some bad influences in middle school, I became even worse. Boy, am I grateful that my parents let it all slide back then. My change was triggered when I heard Suzumu would be moving in here. The two of us played together when we were little, so the topic brought back vivid memories of my life before I strayed off the path. In that moment, I realized I couldn't live with the person I'd become. So I decided to turn over a new leaf once I entered high school. Okay. I cut ties with all of that stuff, made a fresh start as an innocent young lady, and strove for my childhood dream to become the perfect wife once more.
あの時に部屋も全部片付けるべきだったな。
I should have gotten rid of everything in here back then.
でも捨てられないよね。どんな黒歴史であったとしたって私の青春のメモリーだもん。
But no matter how embarrassing they are, they're all precious, precious memories of my older days. I can't just throw it out.
こんな私が女子力あるわけない。
God, I don't have a single feminine bone in my body. I feel like Suzumu wouldn't hate this side of you, though. It had been a year since I'd started training to be a wife, aka helping out with chores. If they were teaching femininity in school, then I'd just been finishing my first grade. It took me until high school to start learning the things most girls learned in grade school at the earliest, and middle school at the latest.
紛れもなく私の女子力。
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. I'm about as ladylike as a pig in the mud. Yet I'm supposed to participate in a cooking contest. Against Jack of all trades Minobe and Miss Perfect Riria at that. I had to stop calling Suzumu by his first name, and I had to stop calling Suzumu by his first name if I lost. Did that mean I'd lose Suzumu to one of them too?
夢だよね。これはきっとドリーム。
I'm dreaming, right? This has to be a dream, right?
ゆっくり眠って目覚めればすべて夢の彼方だよね。
I'll just wake up to find out all of this was a dream. I flopped onto the bed and closed my eyes. I should have been laughing at how silly it was, yet tears streamed down my cheeks. Oh. And then Suzumu was practicing in the backyard again. He would concentrate, practice his form, clear his mind, then punch. It was his routine every single day. I found it odd at first, but my family had grown accustomed to it.
進む。今話しかけても大丈夫？
You free to talk right now, Suzumu?
何？
What is it? Suzumu lowered his hips and held the pose. It didn't look like much at first, but I could only imagine it took a lot of muscle strength to hold a pose for that long. It wasn't something he was born able to do. It was something... It must have become second nature to him after years and years of training.
進むはその親善武術っていうの？
How long have you
いつ
been
から修行
practicing?
してるの？
How long have you been practicing that divine tribute style thing?
物心がついた時にはもうやってた気がするな。
For as long as I can remember, I think.
それって小学校より前からってこと？
You mean even before grade school?
うん。
Yeah.
もちろん年相応な内容だったけれどね。
Oh, but my training was always geared towards my age, of course.
なるほどね。進むの強さは一朝一夕じゃないわけだね。
I see. So you didn't get strong in a day. The same could be said for cooking and being ladylike. Any kind of skill takes constant effort. There are no shortcuts in this world. I tried acting like a dainty flower on the surface, but on the inside I was still the same rabid beast.
はあ。
何かあったの？
Something wrong?
進むの言ってたさ。普通の子ってやつ。
Remember what you said about normal girls?
ほら、進むが結婚したいと思う女の子のこと。
You know, the kind of girl you'd want to marry? Normal girl. Most people would probably take those words at face value. But those words weighed heavily on my mind, having only started living a normal life a year ago. For me, a normal girl was defined by the number of years she lived an ordinary life. As such, I didn't even qualify as one.
もしもだよ。
Can you hear me out for a minute?
うん。
進むの理想と違う。普通に至らない子が告白してきたらどうする？
Let's assume a girl who wasn't normal, who didn't match your ideal, confessed to you. What would you do?
普通に至らない子ってどういう意味？
What exactly do you mean by not normal?
つまり
well.
ごめんね、今の質問なし。フォーゲットで。
Never mind what I said. Forget.
キコちゃんは異性と付き合ったことってある？
Kiko, have you ever gone out with a guy before?
ないよ、全然ない、一度もない。
Huh? Me? No, never.
僕もないよ。だから経験も修行もゼロなんだ。
Well, I haven't been out with a girl either, so I don't have any training in that field.
人を愛して結ばれて、そして幸せになるのにも技量がいるんじゃないかなって思うことがあるんだ。
I think it takes a lot of skill to love, marry, and be happy with another.
人を愛する技量って変な言い方。
You think it takes skill to be in love? I never heard that one before.
友達同士だってさ、気遣いってあるよね。だからいつまでも仲良くいられる。
Well, let's take friendship, for instance. There are certain lines you don't cross when it comes to friendship.
親しい仲だからってそれにあぐらをかいてたら喧嘩にもなるし、友情だって終わることもある。
Sometimes people get complacent because they feel the relationship is strong enough not to worry about it so much. That moment of complacency can end friendships. I believed love to be an invincible bond that unconditionally bridged all divides between men and women. But Susumu's point was valid too. A hedge between keeps friendship green, as they said. A slip of the tongue or a single thoughtless action could end both friendships and romances. That wasn't something taught in school. It was something you learned from experience.
だから僕たちはたくさんの友達と交流してそれを学んできたんじゃないかな。
So perhaps what we can learn from what those lines are... blah blah blah. So perhaps we learn what those lines are by having a lot of friendships.
それと恋人同士も同じだっていうわけ？
You think the same goes for lovers? Yeah.
だから僕は
So?
もし女の子に告白を受けたら付き合ってみたいなって思う。
If a girl confessed to me, I'd want to give it a try.
そうすることでお互い恋の育み方が学べると思うし、人間も深まると思うんだ。
That way I could at least, we could both learn how to nurture our love and improve ourselves. At least that's what I think.
ひょっとしたら相性が合わなくて別れてしまうこともあるかもしれないけど、
Even if it wound up that we're not a good match and end up separating.
二人はとても大切な経験を得て次につないでいけると思うよ。
I think it'd be a valuable experience that would help both of us out in the future. That is a great...
ズムの恋愛観って
Yeah,
すごいね。
that's a great outlook. Your ideas on love are amazing.
そうかな。キコちゃんが言うならそうかもしれないね。
Well, if you say so, then maybe. Suzumu relaxed and picked a towel off the porch. Just then, Mom came outside and placed a pot of tea nearby. Man, was I insensitive. I should have been the one to do that. In that sense, Mom would have been more of an expert than me in these matters. Of course she was. She married Dad and had a daughter who ended up going down the wrong path. She made it this far, amassing plenty of life experience points. I need more feminine experiences in my life, too.
ねえ、スズム。
Hey, Suzumu.
何？
私がさ、
Hi.
恋の勉強のために。
So we can study love. Do you think we could go out?
おう
Yeah, right, like I could ever say that.
ごめんね、なんでもないよ。
I'm sorry, never mind. You're gonna die before you get to say it, so... My dream to become the perfect wife. I could never forget how it started. It happened when I was in kindergarten. That prayer, slip, placed between all those dangerous items on my shelf, was the beginning of it all. I want to be the perfect wife when I grow up, Tsubakiko. That was the first dream I'd ever had. If I had stuck to those feelings and lived an honest life, how wonderful of a woman would I be by now? I threw myself onto the bed, and went over my life. Why did I go down the wrong path? Yeah, but you saved that little kid. I got into fights with boys all the time, and being the dumb kid I was, I thought it made me cool. Damn it. I wish I could turn back time and do it all over again. Oh, so there's the problem. She's gonna try to turn back time. I started to focus on my childhood days. I remember them so well. Susuda was a lot different back then, wasn't it? There was a lot of fields, but those were gradually replaced by houses and parking lots. I loved going to the local park. There were always people I knew playing there. We'd have fun playing on the slide and in the sandbox. I never even thought once about fighting or anything. Back then, I honestly believed there were 3 kinds of people: family, friends, and future friends. I remember what it felt like, but not all the details. But that was good enough for me. If only I could return back to when there were infinite possibilities laid out before me. The slide was fun no matter how many times I went up and down it. I loved making mountains of sand and digging holes. The deeper you dug, the cooler the sand got. Whenever I got thirsty, I'd run over to the water fountain and greedily gulp the water straight out of the faucet. Whenever they mention water, I always make it a habit to drink my water. Hydrate up, hydrate up. Okay. So whenever I got thirsty, I would run over to the faucet and greedily sip the water. My friends' mothers would be sitting on the benches and smiling, waving at us. I could get along with virtually anyone here and make friends with them easily, even if we only just met or I didn't know their names. Everyone was nice. There was even this older man who would buy drinks for the kids. There was something strange on the bench near the swing. It was bulging on that bench. It was a fatty, bulbous piece of flesh. A blob. I couldn't really explain it. It was like an obese man's stomach. It had become a giant mess of meat. Something like hair was strewn about its rolls of fat, reminding me of my father when we took baths together. I thought nothing of it with my father, but with other people, it really disgusted me. But the impression was only in hindsight. Back then, I doubt it bothered me. After all the kids would gather around him with beaming smiles when he brought ice cream out of a shopping bag and called us over. And I was no different. This is pretty messed up. Everyone was crazy for the blob, giving out ice cream for free. I was the same. I didn't get to have ice cream much because my parents said it'd give me stomach aches. Just then, the blob reached out its hand and spoke to me. Nowadays, I would have found that repulsive, but the young me had no reservations. A slimy arm-shaped lump emerged from the blob and stroked my cheek. A gooey, sticky thread covered in sweat clung between my cheek and the blob. No, stop it. It's so gross. Yet the young me was happy, engrossed with the blob that always gave out free treats. My chest was growing tighter and tighter. It was difficult to breathe. It was the stench, that reek of rotten stomach, the rank smell of acidic sweat. I gasped for air. But all I could do was keep watching that scene from an outside perspective, like on a TV show. Just then the blob's eyes met mine. It slithered off the bench with a creeping sound. It made its way through the children, merrily stuffing their faces with ice cream, and approached me. I was frozen in place. All I could do was watch as that thing wriggled toward me. Meanwhile, the young me just kept licking her popsicle. At that moment, the blob opened its giant mouth as though it was going to eat me alive, which unveiled everything hidden within. Its pungent breath, putrid as a boiling sewer, its tongue covered in warts like a sea cucumber, grimy teeth flecked with yellow spots. It was going to swallow me. No. All of a sudden, the world filled with radiant light. The foul blob writhed in pain upon its arrival. It groaned and slithered away. I was saved. Just then, my savior appeared with the warm light.
大丈夫? しっかり.
So this is gonna be the fake Suzumu? Yeah, right? Hang in there.
Suzumu.
Suzumu emerged from the brilliant light. He'd save me.
スズム。
Suzumu, Suzumu.
大丈夫だよ。もう何も怖くないよ。
It's okay, you don't have to be scared anymore.
怖いのは僕が追い払ったから。
I chased away whatever was frightening you.
ありがとう、スズム。ありがとう。
Thanks, Suzumu, thanks. Wait, that's gonna be it? I cried in Suzumu's arms for a while. Gradually, I calmed down and realized I'd been having a nightmare.
夢か。
Phew, so it was a dream.
嫌な夢だったみたいだね。
That looked pretty bad to me.
私、夢見の悪い方みたいで、ぼんやりしてる時とかにも
I tend to
よ
get
く気持ち悪い夢を見たりするの。
I tend to get nightmares all the time, especially when I space out.
最近はそれほどでもなかったんだけど、久しぶりに特盛り級のを見た気がする。
I haven't had nightmares in a while, but this was by far the worst one I've had.
どんな夢を見てたの？
What kind of nightmare was it?
と
Okay, I tend to get them all the time, especially when I space out. I haven't had as many recently, but I feel this was the worst one in a while. What kind of nightmare was it? Dreams are always so clear when you're having them. Yet when I tried to recall the details, I found they faded from my brain, like melted snow.
忘れちゃった。
I forgot.
バカみたいだね。散々うなされておいて、ケロッと忘れちゃうなんて。
It's silly, isn't it? It was so scary, but now I can't remember a thing.
覚えてて楽しいものじゃないなら、それが一番じゃないかな。
If it was bad, then maybe that's for the best.
そうだね。
Yeah. What happened to me? Oh, right. I lay down in bed during a fit of self-loathing. I'd planned on getting back up soon, but it seemed I'd dozed off. I was glad Suzumu had woken me up. I would have felt like a total mess in the morning if I fell asleep in my clothes. Wait.
どうしたの？
Is something wrong?
スズム、
What are you doing in my room,
なんで
Suzumu?
私の部屋。
うん。僕も寝てたんだけど、キコちゃんの部屋から叫び声が聞こえて。
Oh, right. So I went to bed, but then I heard you screaming.
うちのアパート、壁が薄いしね。
These walls, they're pretty thin.
ノックしたんだけど気づいてくれなくて。おじさんたちの部屋もノックしたんだけど、こっちもダメで。
I knocked on your door, but that didn't work. I knocked on your parents' doors, but that didn't work either.
ひょっとしたら窓の鍵が開いてるかなって思って。
This sounds sus. Then I noticed your window was open.
ごめんね。開いてた？
Oh, sorry. And it was?
おかげでキコちゃんを起こしてあげることができたんだ。
Yeah, thanks to that, I was able to wake you. This is creepy.
さすがに僕も寝巻きじゃ失礼だと思ったんで、ちゃんと着替えてきたんだ。
I thought it would have been rude to do it in my pajamas, though, so I changed first. That was awfully considerate, but I didn't care about that at the moment. Something far, far bigger was at stake here.
見た。
Did you see?
何を？
See what?
見たよね。
My room.
ご感想を一つ。
What do you think of my room?
すごいね。
It's something, alright. No, no, this is the real nightmare. Wake me up, please. I gripped my head and rolled around in bed.
どうして入った？どうして私の部屋に入った？
Why did you come in here?
泥棒に押し入られたのかと思ったし、病気や怪我かもしれなかったし。
Well, you see, I figured a thief could have gotten in here. Or you were sick or something, or injured.
でも女の子の部屋だよ。乙女の聖域だよ。秘密の花園だよ。
But this is a woman's room we're talking about here. A lady's sanctuary, her secret garden. Garden my ass. There wasn't a single flower in here. In a sanctuary? With a gang jacket and posters of demons and skulls hanging around. Who did I think I was kidding?
スズムに見られた。見られちゃった。もうお嫁に行けないよ。
You saw it. You saw it all. Now I'll never get married.
なんかごめん。
Sorry, I guess?
責任取って。
You take responsibility for what you've done.
責任取ってよ。私をスズムのお嫁さんにして。
Own up to your actions. Take me as your wife, damn it. I grabbed Suzumu by the collar, my face drenched with sweat and tears. More than anything, I wanted to dig a hole and bury myself in it at that very moment.
理由なんか関係ねえんだよ。私の乙女の聖域にあんた踏み込んだんだから。
Oh, her real voice is coming out. Her gangster voice. I don't want to hear any ifs and or buts. This is your fault for desecrating my sanctuary.
私の乙女、土足で踏みにじってごめんねで済まされるわけねえだろ。
You think a sorry's gonna make up for soiling my holy ground? Do ya?
靴は履いてないよ。
But I didn't track any dirt.
そういうボケはいいんだよ。こら、祭るぞこら。
That don't mean nothing, you son of a bee. I'll kill ya.
痛いよキコちゃん。
You're hurting me, Kiko.
私の心の痛みはそんなもんじゃねえ。謝れ、謝罪しろ。私をスズムのお嫁さんにしろ。
That's nothing compared to the pain in my heart. Damn it, apologize, atone, make me your wife.
落ち着いてよキコちゃん。苦しい。
Calm down, Kiko, I can't breathe.
てめえを思って眠れない夜を過ごした私の苦しみより大したことはねえ。
What you're feeling ain't got crap on the suffering I've been through. Not after a restless night.
どういうこと？
What are you talking about?
私がてめえを好きだからに決まってんだろうが、ごらー。
You got crap for brains? I'm saying I love you, you dumbass. I heaved and caught my breath and finally came back to my senses. Was that really my idea of a confession? What the hell is that? On a scale of 1 to 10, I get a negative 100 for femininity on that one. Aww.
Kiko ちゃん。
こんなだった私だけど、可愛いお嫁さんになりたいの。
This is how I am, but I want to be an adorable, doting wife.
私、スズムのお嫁さんに
I wanted to
な
be...
りたいの。
I wanted to be your wife.
スズムの望むような女の子にはまだほど遠いけど、
I'm still light years away from being your dream girl.
悪いところは直すし、スズムが気に入るようにいっぱい頑張るから。
But I'll work on my flaws, and I'll try my hardest to become the perfect wife.
それは僕も同じだよ。
Same goes for me.
今の僕じゃ仮にキコちゃんと結婚したとしても幸せにできる自信なんてないよ。
Even if we did get married, I'm not sure I can make you happy the way I am now.
だから
So,
だから。
so,
二人で一緒に勉強していこう。
let's study together.
それってどういう意味？
What do you mean?
さすがにキコちゃんを僕のお嫁さんにするなんて約束はまだできないよ。
It's way too soon for me to promise to make you my wife.
だって僕はまだ未熟だからキコちゃんを幸せにできる自信がない。
I don't have experience with this sort of thing, so I can't say for sure I could be the husband you deserve.
でもそれはキコちゃんも同じでしょ。
But you're in the same boat, right?
だったら二人が互いを幸せにできるかどうか試してそして学び合わなきゃ。
So let's find out if we can make each other happy and learn together.
その上で二人が結婚に値するという結論に至ったなら、それでいいんじゃないかな。
And if we decide at that point that we're worthy of spending the rest of our lives together with each other, we can consider marriage then, can't we?
よくわかんない。私バカだから、スズムが何を言ってるのかわかんない。
Wakanai. I don't get it. I'm dumb, so I don't understand what you're saying.
ごめんね。僕も実は何を言ってるのかちょっとわかんなくなってる。
Apologies. Honestly, even I'm not so sure. But I looked up to discover Suzumu's cheeks were red. I was the one who went all crazy, so he was trying to play it cool. But I could tell Suzumu was nervous. It made me happy. It wouldn't be fair to ask any more of him. I sat up straight and bowed my head to Suzumu.
ずっと好きでした。
I've liked you for forever.
私がスズムのお嫁さんにふさわしいかどうか自信はないけれど、
I don't know if I'm the right woman to be your wife.
どうか私とお付き合いしてください。
But please, go out with me.
悪いところがあったら直します。いいところがあったら頑張ります。
I'll fix any flaws I have and work hard on improving my strengths.
だからスズムの望む女の子になれたら、私をスズムのお嫁さんにしてください。
So if I do become your ideal woman, please take me as your wife. Suzumu sat like me and repeated my actions just then.
僕こそ
Same here.
僕はきっとキコちゃんが期待するほどの立派な男じゃない。
I know I'm not as respectable as a man as you think I am.
だから悪いところがあったら直すし、いいところがあったら伸ばしたい。
So I want to correct my flaws and my strengths and improve my strengths.
それを確かめ合い、直し合い。
Let's discover those and fix them together, shall we?
その上でまだ僕がキコちゃんのお婿さんにふさわしいと思ってくれたなら、
If by then you still believe that I'm worthy of being your husband,
その時お互いを運命に委ねよう。
then let's leave everything to fate.
なんでそんなに落ち着いてるの？ひょっとして告白されたこと結構ある？
How are you so calm? Has somebody confessed to you before?
そんなわけないよ。ほら、手のひらはびっしょりだよ。
Of course not. See how sweaty my palms are? Suzumu showed me his palms, which I took in my own. They were warm, and I could tell his heart was beating as fast as mine.
スズムも緊張してるんだ。
Suzumu is nervous too?
僕の悩みなんだよ。緊張したり焦ったりしてても誰も信じてくれないんだ。
Well, yeah, of course I worry about things. Nobody ever believes me when I say I'm nervous, though.
女の子とお付き合いなんかしたことがないからどうすればいいかわからないけど。
I've never dated a single person before, so I don't know what to do.
ご安心めされい。私もだよ。
That's a relief. The same goes for me.
なんだろう、その
Well, 頑
張ろう。
Let's do our best.
えいおう。
Hip hip, hooray! We laughed. I never knew the moonlight shining through the curtains could be so gentle. It illuminated the tinges on our cheeks, revealing our growing embarrassment. The pounding in my chest was so great that I could barely take any more. If we sailed this night with a kiss like a romance novel, our hearts would explode, no doubt about it. So we simply said goodnight to each other, and Suzumu returned to his room. His door was locked, so he said he'd go through the window. Ending a series of romantic events on that note was so silly I couldn't help but laugh. I felt like if he went out through the window, that'd be more suspicious. I was Tsubakiko Haramiya, a junior high school student, and I finally found myself living a normal adolescent life. Normal. The big day was finally coming up tomorrow, the day of the Iwaihime Happy Fun Carnival, the day of the LCSC's rummage sale. And so today was the night of the sleepover, the day of the cooking competition for Suzumu's heart. the members gathered at the school. We moved the rummage sale goods to a truck belonging to the Shopping District Association. I might actually stop here. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here and just take a short break. I might come back and play a little more. But I figure stopping here and then keeping this video short, and then I can do another video. Hopefully get to some of the later stuff in this route, like maybe some of the bad ending part of this route. I don't know if I'll finish the whole route, though, in one night. These routes are fairly short, and because they're, like, you kind of know what the setups are, but they're still enticing, because you're like, how are these characters gonna die? Like, I actually find that kind of interesting. And then wondering if, in the end, is it just gonna be depressing, or is this guy gonna end up with somebody, or can he end up with all of them, you know, depending on what you... Is there a choice at some point? I don't know. So, I'm intrigued, again, to see how this plays out. To see if the next route, are we going to get a teacher route? I mean, that would be kind of messed up. But I wouldn't put it past them. Why would they have the teacher character? You know, like, I don't know. I feel like she's going to be involved somehow. I also forget... There was, like, a demon with, like, tree branches or something on their head in, like, one of the first routes. Who was that? Was that Kiko? Was that demon that we saw come out of, what's her name's? You know, the idol's chest? You know, who was that? So yeah, we still have a lot of unanswered questions. And obviously Suzumu... there was the fake Suzumu, but the fake Suzumu said some things that I think are going to be true of the real Suzumu. The whole I've lived for 1,000 years thing. Like, I think that might be true. I think he might have gone back in time and stuff. I mean, because obviously we're seeing all these different routes. But yeah, we'll find out. See you next time.